Welcome back to another edition of Dragon Sports Live. I'm Dante Payne, and it's about to go down. Now, I didn't even know that I was supposed to be working today. I looked at my schedule before, it didn't say that. But let me give y'all some more music. Let me take this call real quick. What's up? Okay. And I sure was like, didn't know I was. Now, you know what's funny? Because I looked at the schedule, it said Wednesday. So I was like, okay. All right. All right. Yeah, I got you. I'm gonna lock it in now. I'm back. I don't know what just gonna happen, but such a lot of confusion going on with my schedule at my new job versus my old job, and yeah, I don't know what's going on. Like, I originally was supposed to be, um, I was supposed to be basically at work, and I didn't know I was supposed to be at work, which that happens, but it's also because we got a lot of new people running the schedule, so it is what it is. I didn't know I was supposed to be at work. I'm normally off on Tuesdays and Thursdays. You got people that's been in the game for eons, and their schedule's been the same. So it's like, why change it now? But it is what it is. I'll just go in tomorrow. I won't be in trouble. I'm still excused for that. But anyways, Chase Young signs a 13 million deal with the Saints on a 1 year deal. With the NFL this year, is basically everybody signing their, you know, basically any player that wasn't on the team that was on the team that was a cap hit, basically doing a 1 year tryout with a different team. Some of them wanted to move, some of them didn't want them to move, but they're doing a 1 year tryout with these teams. So you got a lot of 1 year contracts. We also got the draft coming up. Speaking of, and with that draft coming up, some people gonna draft what they need during the draft. But that's the teams that's drafting the top three all need quarterbacks. The Bears, the Washington Commanders, and the New England Patriots. New England Patriots definitely need a quarterback. They don't have one right now. I think they still got Bailey Zappi, but who else they got? They traded Mac Jones to the Jaguars. So it's like, who do y'all have? Some loaded and just trying to find the right talent, but others, hey, it is what it is. But let's see what that goes. The 49ers will lose their 25th draft choice, as well as go back four spaces as a result of payroll error. So with that being said, you lose basically whatever position you got. You're going to move back, and those teams that was behind you're going to move up. which is crazy, but I like it. 49ers signed quarterback Joshua Jobs to a 1 year deal, who's been spectacular with the who is it? The Vikings when he came in for the Vikings. So let's see how that goes. Raiders signed running back Alexander Madison to a 2 year contract worth $7 million. Um, and then we also had Langston Van Esch. He's retiring because of neck issues. Lions released Cameron Sutton amid police search for the QB. Um, he was at the facility, and the Lions was basically urging him to turn himself in, but a day later they released him. So that happened as well. And, just many different things happening in the course of, like, we don't know what's going on with this player, what's going through his head, but stuff happens. That's all I can say. Stuff happens. It happens. So you best to believe you gotta keep moving forward. But stuff happens. So that is what it is with that. It's kind of crazy with that. Someone was on my camera. Jets also, Lions also, defensive end Romeo Akua retiring after 8 seasons. We also getting a lot of retirees in football seasons, like injuries, stuff like that. So he's also retiring. Jets left tackle Tyron Smith, who's a new piece to saying they got all the pieces in place to win. Basically, it's like a win situation now. You got Aaron Rodgers coming back from an Achilles injury. You added new people. You got Moses Morris. You got Tyrod Smith and a few others. But the owners also plan on keeping Zach Wilson as the backup. They don't plan on trading him. They plan on keeping him or waiving him. So they plan to keeping him there. Um, Ex Saints receiver Michael Thomas to enter Pretzel division. Ex Cardinals VP accused of choking his neighbor, which that kind of threw me off when you're just like, oh, he's accused of choking his neighbor. What did you do to your neighbor what did your neighbor do to you that you decide you want to choke your neighbor? I don't know. This is why I stay to myself in most cases. Like, I go in, I go to work, I hang out with my friends that I always hang out with, I play ball, I work out. That's all I do. I don't do nothing else. And I play with my son and hang out with my wife. That's the best thing to do. That's the only thing to do. But at times it be that way. Mm. So NFL had proposed. We got quite a few rule changes in the. One of those rule changes was the hip drop tackle that now has been banned. It's approved by NFL um, owners, and it was 29 out of the 32 teams, so it was like 29-3, something like that. That proposed that ban, so that means they can't drop their weight onto the person, like drop their hips to drop, causing a injury, because that specific tackle caused 25 injury. It was up caused injuries for 25%, which was most compared to any other tackles. So they decided to ban that. On top of that, they're going to adapt the XFL kickoff return since they feel like the kick return was dying off. It wasn't really a kick return, but that's also because you got these kickers that's kicking the ball way to the end zone at all times. So we'll see how that kickoff. But basically, if y'all remember the kickoff in the XFL, the NFL will adapt that kickoff where they line up at the 20 and the 30 and basically try to prevent safety for the safety. That allows them, hopefully, it will rejuvenate kickoff, but we'll see where that goes when it. We'll see in preseason, and we'll check it out. Now, as much as a lot of people disagree, but Caleb Williams showed off at Pro Day. He showed off he can pocket pass, he can throw the deep ball, but he's also good on the move. You look at his games when he was at USC. He showed out, and then he he dabbed it up with the coaches, hugged the coaches. Matt Effers was impressed. Keaton Allen was impressed. It's impressive. It was just it's a little bit arrogant on his part. Like, okay, I understand some people don't do things at the combine, but don't make it seem like don't make it seem like you got the number one um you got the number one draft. You got that top pick sold up because they can go a different route at any given moment. You don't know. Like, you're not the only person that they're looking at. You do got skills prepared to Patrick Mahomes, but like I said, you're not the only person that they're looking at. So you got to be humble with it. That's all I got to say. You definitely got to just be humble with it. Now, the other person who didn't show up to nothing was Marvin Harrison Jr. So hopefully he still get drafted because it is a need for a wide receiver. But he did go to pro day. He didn't. He wasn't at the combine, even though he was supposed to be interviewed at the combine. Like, you didn't see him pop up on the screen. He didn't do it via Zoom. Nothing. He just didn't show up. So we'll see where that goes. Chiefs Ladarius, the Chiefs traded Ladarius Sneed to the Titans for a 25 third round pick and a 24 7th round pick swap. And then Chargers signed cornerback Christian Fulton to a 1-year deal. Browns add running back Dante Foreman, who was with the Bears last season, had limited time, and was a healthy scratch. But they also give Henry Judy a 3-year, $58 million extension, and the Jets also recently added Mike Williams to a 1-year deal as well. Bills add safety and Chiefs add safety, Chief safety Mike Edwards, and on top of that, we had Michigan defensive line coach Greg Struz resigns after a OWI, arrested while under the influence, 5 days after he took the position at Michigan, so he steps down amidst that. Washington's Troy Dannon replaces Trav Albert as Nebraska AD. And Iowa offensive tackle Caden Pryor re-enters protocol and rejoins the Alabama back with the roll tide. So that's what's going on with that. I do got more news coming to that as we get closer and closer to the draft, y'all. We about to have another exciting show for y'all. So I might do a draft special on that. I haven't decided yet, but that's if I don't have to work during the draft. I gotta look again. But I might do a draft special for y'all just cause it's awesome. But with that being said, we're gonna move on to what's going on in NBA. So Wizards rookie Bilal Kalim, he's out for the rest of the season with a broken wrist or fractured wrist, however you want to say it, but he's out. Kings guard Kevin Huerter exits the game with a shoulder injury, and that was against the Grizzlies in their last game, on contact with Desmond Bain with 1:51 left in the first quarter. Like, it was, I see how it looked. It didn't look too good. It didn't look too pleasing at all. I was like, ugh. But we'll see what that goes as time goes. Knicks for OG Anunoby expects to miss time with an elbow injury. And Lakers forward Christian Wood is out for several weeks with a knee injury. So And then teams that was number one seeds in the men's division, you had UConn, Houston, Purdue, UNC men's, and three 20-win teams, Providence, Seton Hall, and St. John's, were all snubbed. But far as the seeds go in the brackets, well, that's a little bit different because we had upsets, and I love when I see upsets in, especially in the brackets. Like a lot of people's brackets was broken off the bat because you had upsets. You had first round upset. Like we had Yale beating Auburn, Dunkies beating BYU, um, Kentucky falling out. Kentucky falling out to Oakland. North Carolina State beating Texas. James Madison beating Wisconsin. Like these was all upsets. Some of them, some schools just blew out. Like Houston blew out Longwood first round. Um, Mississippi State losing to Michigan in the close one, but that was actually a really good game. Grand Canyon beating St. Mary's. So like those are the upsets that you had in the first round. Second round, a little different. Well, no, we had an upset or two, but wasn't too bad. Well, the only other upset, yeah, it wasn't too bad second round, but I love looking at upsets. We got more we got more games happening on the 28th with the Sweet 16 starting. UConn San Diego, gonna be a good game. Illinois versus Iowa State. And then North Carolina. Them the games that's happening on the 28th. Also North Carolina, Alabama. Clemson versus Arizona. So can't wait to see those games on the 28th. On the men's side, women's side, same thing. Basically, the 28th is happening there. That's Sweet 16th. Well, it starts on the 29th for them. So South Carolina versus Indiana. Oregon versus Notre Dame. Notre Dame's been tearing it up. Iowa versus Colorado. And then LSU versus UCLA on in the Albany 1 region. Region 4, Texas versus Gonzaga, USC versus Baylor, which that's also going to be a good game. So we'll see what that goes, how that goes, and where it goes about. But it's going to be a great game in that sense. Don Keith's coach, who he's going to retire, he's retiring at the end of after the tournament. Who also coached LeBron James, Keith Dumbrot, he's retiring now since they got knocked out. So yeah, since Donkey's got knocked out, he's retiring now. He's calling it quits. You know, they got knocked out in the second round, but they ain't make it to the Sweet 16. So that happens. But this was Donkey's first NCAA bid since 1997, mean 77. So big ups to them on that. Congratulations in your retirement. Hopes all go well. And, you know, all to the well, all is to the best. Michigan sophomore Doug McDaniel will enter the transfer portal along with guard George Washington III following the departure of Howard. So since they decided not to bring Howard, they just like, oh, we're going to enter the portal and probably go elsewhere. Because Howard obviously brought a lot of people there. Like he's actually a pretty decent coach. Just didn't have a. This season wasn't really the best for him at 8-24, but some people have down seasons. DePaul is 0-20 in league play, and they was 34 and 35 in Big East games. So that's why they end up losing their head coach. But, you know, hopefully that gets better for them with their new coach, who is Chris Hartman, the former Ohio State coach. He's hired as DePaul's new head coach, so hopefully that can change. That league play, that 0-20 in league play, and 34 and 35 in Big East games. Hopefully that can change. A-Rod and McLaurin gets the new back in the bid for getting the Minnesota Timberwolves as well as the Minnesota Lynx, and that's Dido Capital who partners with them as a new financial backing. Hopefully that pushes them to get in that bid of getting the Wolves. They trying to be owners of their team. Um, Speaking of the Wolves, so Wolves analyst charged with stealing strategic NBA information. Somak Sukar at age 33. He was arrested, fired, and now you got a crime. Suns signed two-time All-Star Isaiah Thomas to a 10-day contract, which brings him back with the Suns for a second stint, another stint with them, brings him back with that. Big ups to that on that move. Pistons center Isaiah Stewart will sit out the rest of the season with a hamstring strain. And they also lose rookie for Oshawa Thomas to miss the rest of the season because he had blood clots. So because he getting that situated, he'll miss the rest of the season until he's cleared to play activities, but he's done for the rest of the season. And that's pretty much what's going on this week. But stay tuned for another edition of Dragon Sports Live. Well, it's about to go down, and it's going to be an exciting day. But I'm Dante Payne. You listen to Dragon Sports Live, and I'm signing off. And I'm sorry for all those people who's watching on live that see that I ran into some technical issues or my computer starts tweaking, but it'll get better. It will get better. That's the only thing we can do is improve. Until then, peace out.